Travel Talk, where our expert magical memory planners discuss ways you can have fun, memorable, and stress-free family vacations. Hi, and welcome to this episode of Travel Talk. I'm super excited because this time I have a special guest with me. Carla Haydt is one of our amazing travel advisors at Magical Memory Planners, and she had the awesome opportunity of going on the Icon of the Seas, which is the newest Royal Caribbean cruise ship to the fleet, and it is also a new class of ship. So not only is it a new ship, it actually is a new class of ships. So there'll be other Icon class ships coming. So we really wanted to take some time to talk about this on this episode. And in February, we were on the Allure of the Seas. And so we did a podcast on that. So if you're interested in an Oasis class ship, which is like one class smaller than Icon, we have a podcast on that as well. But today we are going to kind of talk through the stats and the details and what's new and different about the Icon of the Seas with Carla. Yeah. So thanks for being here, Carla.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm super excited. I mean, this ship, I didn't even know where to start. It was so cool. Well, and like I've sailed a lot. I've sailed a lot over, oh my goodness, maybe I think we started sailing in our early 20s, my husband and I. And we've sailed at least over 20 times, different cruise lines. We've done Royal and Norwegian and Disney and things like that. And I'm not partial to big ships. Like I'm a small ship girl, actually.
Yes, which is actually funny because when the opportunity came for her to go on Icon of the Seas, I kind of was like, so we have the opportunity for you to go on Icon of the Seas. Would you be interested? Because in general, that's not really your personal vacation style.
Exactly. And to preface that, like I have done a lot of different levels of ships, whether they're smaller ships or medium-sized ships or those large ships. And typically when my family has done the larger ships, most recently we did the Oasis of the Seas, which was a wonderful vacation and we had a great time. There's so many people and there's a lot of people waiting for things. And, sometimes like you want your ice cream in less than 10 minutes. Does that sound bad?
No.
But what was interesting, though, was going into the Icon with that perspective of sometimes families are afraid when they get that big that you're going to lose that intimate feel of a ship. That wasn't the case at all.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the reasons I thought Carla would be the perfect person to go on Icon of the Seas, because she'd give us a really good perspective from someone who comes from a smaller ship, is kind of her jam. Mm-hmm. So what did she think of Icon? And apparently she loved it. So let's dig in first a little bit about the facts of the ship, some like basic information so people kind of put in perspective the details of the ship.
Yeah. So, and actually we have, just to show you, a really cool little picture of the Icon. So that is how big this ship is. I mean, it's massive. So it has 20 decks, 18 guest decks in total. There's about 2,805 staterooms. So that typically accommodates, I want to say 5,610 guests.
Right. Based on double occupancy, but not every stateroom will have two people.
Exactly. Some may have more, some may have less, but, and then there's about 2,300 crew members on the ship as well. For those who are into gross tonnage. So like some people like to know like truly how big. Yeah. This one is 248,000 gross tons, give or take.
Yeah.
So it's huge.
Yeah. It's funny. If you Google some of the ships side by side, it kind of gives you a good perspective to see how big it is. But just because it's big doesn't mean that it is overwhelming. Yeah, it's really well laid out. And one of the cool things that Royal did, and they started this with their Oasis class ships, was they started to break the ship up into neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. And each neighborhood gives the ship kind of a place that has a feel. So you're kind of like, if you're in Central Park, you get that feel of Central Park. And if you're down, in the boardwalk on the Oasis class ships, you get the sense of the boardwalk. And so it breaks it up. And then it's also great for people to kind of find their niche, right? Like if some people really like to hang out in Central Park, some people want to be in the boardwalk, and people kind of find their places, and then the ship doesn't feel quite as crowded. So they kind of did that again with Icon of the Seas, except for they introduced a lot of new neighborhoods. So before we get give you the details on all the new neighborhoods. What was the overall feel of the ship when you first got on board?
Well, when you first walk in, it is a super wow. Like it smacks you in the face with the massiveness, but the beautiful decor of the Royal Promenade. Because, like you said, with neighborhoods, that's really the first neighborhood that you come to. You walk in to the Royal Promenade, and right there is this amazing pearl that is just right in the middle, and it has this amazing, beautiful staircase that you can walk down, especially if you're all like dressed up and you're feeling really fancy.
Nighttime pictures.
Right. It just screams nighttime pictures. But you know what I really loved about the feel of the icon was when you're standing in those foyers, and the Royal Promenade is on many ships for Royal.
Yeah.
You don't know that you're on a cruise ship. You may feel like you're in a big hotel where it's just there's shops lining it. You've got the coffee shop, Starbucks is there. There's restaurants and all sorts of things. This actually is 2 to 3 stories of windows. So you really are seeing the ocean. They did such a fabulous job of bringing the ocean into that lobby that you don't feel like you're at sea, but you know you are. You're seeing that beautiful view and you're getting that feel. So it is an unbelievably, what I want to call like iconic view.
The natural light must be really nice too, because you come inside sometimes and then you get right into like manufactured light or whatever you
Yeah.
So then coming in and having that natural sunny day just kind of infiltrating into that lobby must be beautiful.
It's breathtaking. It really is. And I walked in, I was like, oh my goodness. It's just, I'm so excited I'm here. And I think everybody else has that feeling too. And the one thing I did want to talk about too is the size of this ship. It seems like it's going to be intimidating, but it's not. I think they really listened to their customers and their clients when they designed this ship, because you walk in and yeah, you have this beautiful wow, but at the same time, it has a beautiful, intimate feel to it. There's seating areas all over that you can have nice, intimate conversations. There's lounges that really kind of direct you and stop that, like, for lack of a better word, cattle herding that you often get on large ships. It's hurry up and wait in this big line, hurry up and wait in that big line. Even the customer service area, I felt they actually had people outside that were troubleshooting everybody, as opposed to, oh, do you really need to go up to the customer service desk, or can I take care of this for you right here and now? Yeah. And they had iPads, they were able to access things, where in the past, Royal Caribbean does that, but they didn't have someone being able to access something so quickly. So
yeah,
that was really cool.
Fleet-wide that they're working on, because when we were on the Lure in February, I had a question and I went down to customer service and there was someone there with an iPad, answered my question. I never got in the line.
Yep.
Got in and out, got my question answered. It was super simple. Guest service question, but super simple. So that was great.
The other overall feel that I wanted to do, excuse me, I'm fighting a laryngitis, but was the fact that this is a really multi-generational ship. And you feel that. You feel they're catering not only to 5-year-olds, but also 80-year-olds. That made me warm my heart, because I feel like this is a ship where grandma and grandpa can come on, and if they have some physical challenges, they're able to be accommodated. And that you really felt like it wanted to bring your whole family together. And I don't know how they did that, but you feel that throughout all the different neighborhoods.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think cruising is one of the best recommendations for multi-gen, because there's something at every level for large families to do, and easily accommodate 6, 8, 10 staterooms for your family. And you can have people in balconies and people on inside with different budgets, but still traveling together. So cruising in general is like the perfect multi-gen type of trip. So to see that in the ship really come to fruition is perfect.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. So should we jump into the neighborhoods?
Let's start with the newest neighborhood, one that we didn't have before.
Yes. So Thrill Island. Oh my goodness. So if you wanted a water park at sea, this is a true water park. This isn't one slide, maybe 2 slides, maybe a little scary. You're not going to do it. They have 6 slides on this ship alone. And it's insane, because you just look at it, you just know everybody's having such a good time in this area. So not only that, they're tall, they have a tallest tallest drop slide at sea, and it's 46 feet. And it's 282 feet long. I was like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But with that, they still have the old favorites. They've got the Flow Rider Jam. They've got the golf, mini golf. They've got rock climbing. But they do have this new area. It is called the Crown's Edge, and it is like part skywalk, part ropes course, part thrill ride. You get like all roped up, and you're walking a beam around off the ship, and then you're like, it's just insane. I can't even begin. I couldn't do it. I couldn't get the nerve up. But let me tell you, the people were having so much fun at this Crown's Edge. It was amazing.
I can tell you that's where my teenage boys would be.
I have no doubt mine would have been there too.
They've been on those things before, and the more daring and scary it is, the happier they are.
And it looked very scary. So I know.
But that's awesome to have that thrill. People sometimes will be like, oh, if I go on a cruise ship, it's going to be boring. There's not going to be anything to do, so problem solved.
Yeah, this is not a boring ship.
No.
So, which actually leads us right into the next one, which is Chill Island. So you got Thrill Island, and right next door you have Chill Island, where you can find me. Yeah.
Sounds good.
So with the Icon, there's actually, and many people who've sailed before, sometimes the pools can be small. They're very, very crowded. You've got like one main pool and then maybe a little kiddie pool off to the side. No, this has 7 different pools on this ship, 7 different pools. And 5 of them are located for them are located right in Chill Island. So what they did was they broke up the pool areas, and they're on this multi-level decks where you look at it and it just looks so cool the way they have it like integrated into the entire ship area. And the seating was unbelievable. Everywhere you turned, there were lounge chairs, there were regular chairs, there was table seating, there were multiple things that had like coverings over them where they're like loungers that were like soft and inviting. I think literally if every single person on the entire ship went up to the pool decks, they were able to get a seat.
Yeah.
I was so impressed by that. And then cool, like we thought this was really cool. We didn't get a chance to jump in because we went in January and it was pretty chilly, so we did not jump in the pool. But they have a swim up bar. Oh, it is, and it just has this great retro feel, like this oranges and blues and greens, and it just looks tropical and fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, very, very neat to do.
I love to hear the shade and the table seating, like again, that multi-gen, so that people want to sit in a chair, they don't want to sit out in the sun, or they don't want to sit down in a lounger. That gives them the opportunity to have different seating options and still all be together and chilling together.
Absolutely.
I love it. Okay, so what do we have next?
So say that's a little too much for your family. Like you've got small littles with you, and maybe grandma and grandpa want to take the little ones to maybe go play in like a splash pad. They have an entire area now. It's called Surfside. And Surfside, for those of you who've sailed some of the other cruises before with Royal Caribbean on the Oasis class ships, that's where the boardwalk used to be. So they made that the entire area focused to young families. And they not only have the water's edge pool, so they have a small little kiddie pool, they have a splashaway bay and baby bay. So like they have their own areas even within the Surfside. Nice. And it is all beach themed. Of course, they have a carousel, and the carousel is beach themed. So they've got whales and dolphins that you're riding all around. Yeah. But it not only has that, it's almost like playground-esque. Because it's multiple levels also, you're able to climb up and go down slides. There you go down and there's this huge flamingo, and you can almost climb on this huge beach ball that the flamingo had. There's games everywhere. There's Connect Four, and there was constantly people there engaging with the kids and having fun. And one thing we'll kind of get into in a little bit later is the food options in Surfside are just top notch. So kid focused, but
cool.
We'll get to there in a few more minutes.
Get to food.
Oh yeah,
you've heard the podcast before. Food is very important. So we will get there. We'll give it its own time. Okay, so I hear a lot for families. I hear a lot for kids. What do you have for me? For adults only, no kids. There's got to be something.
There is. And let me tell you, it is in the perfect spot. It is called the Hideaway. And that's exactly what this area is. It is hid away. So at the other side of Thrill Island, you walk up to the adult only area and you kind of like go down into it. So it's almost hidden in the back of the ship. You want to talk about a gorgeous spot to have a drink and just view the sunset in the evening with with your loved ones that you're like, this is gorgeous. It has an infinity pool that goes out over the side. It gives you the most spectacular views and just feeling of relaxation. It has a multi-level sun deck with tons of chairs and two gorgeous hot tubs. And then way on the other side, tucked in, is an amazing little bar, adults only. The kids will never find you. And neither will your mother if you bring her. It really was a great spot. And what I love the most about it, you didn't have to pay extra. It's all included. You just go down to the adult only area and it gave you that little sanctuary from the craziness of Thrill Island, which is behind you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so now you said that they took where the boardwalk was and the aqua theater and made it into a kids area, Surfside. So do we still have an aqua theater?
Do.
Where is it now?
Not only do you have an aqua theater, it's in a dome in the front of the ship.
Oh,
it is so cool because if anybody has sailed those, again, you see these amazing water shows, but of course they're weather dependent. So if it's really windy on certain nights or if it's rainy at all, that aqua show gets canceled. And I'm going to tell you, the aqua show is a do not miss on the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. I have seen a number of them now, and I will tell you, they are just breathtaking. And the athleticism that these swimmers have to dance and put on these shows, it's just unbelievable. As a matter of fact, not to really go into the show too much, but it now has like 4 robotic arms that come up with these lights that are almost like interactive. And then they have 7 lifts in this area that bring the swimmers and down, and they're going underwater. It's just insane. And I know we'll get into entertainment in a little bit, but I just had to share that. It was unbelievable. And what's cool too is you kind of like, it's stacked up in a beautiful way so everybody has a really good view. You know who has the best view? Those staying in the suites, because their lounge is like up above and is all glass and overlooks the aqua show.
Oh, so they can watch it from the lounge
anytime they want. No reservations, nothing. They can just have a drink and decide if the water show's playing. They get to see that. But I have to tell you about my favorite area of the Aqua Dome.
Okay.
So the Aqua Dome kind of like is this gorgeous area in the front, but in front of that is what they call the overlook. And the overlook gives you a stunning front view of the ship. Oh. It's 3 floors high. It's all glass. And it is open a little bit, so you're getting a little bit of the breeze, but not a lot. Like it definitely was covered from all the elements. But the chairs are beautiful. It has a gorgeous bar. It also has a separate coffee bar up there as well that had all kinds of coffee concoctions, not just alcoholic beverages, regular coffee beverages, all sorts of things. But down on the floor area, on the backside, they have virtual aquariums. So you're constantly seeing fish swimming by because you actually feel like you're almost in this little like underwater cove. And then you have these pods, and you literally can walk up the pods, and they have seating areas at the top of these pods. So say you have a group of like 8 of us going together and you want to have a little meeting, or you just you're laughing and having a good time and you don't want to disturb anybody. You can take your drinks and go up to the pod and just have an awesome time. There's servers that will serve you up there. It was my favorite place to be on the ship, and I found myself there multiple times.
That's great because the Aqua Theater is amazing, and the Aqua Show is not to be missed on any cruise ship that Royal has because I think that they're outstanding, even if you were on land.
Yeah.
But when you think about you're at sea and these things are happening, and the divers and performers, like prior to the show, they were showing us the list of the names and their accolades. They were in the Olympics, they're professional swimmers, professional divers. I mean, really, really amazing, like resumes of what they've done.
Oh, yeah.
So the shows are amazing, but then like, oh, not showtime, there's not as many things to use that space for. So that sounds so amazing to enjoy that dome and that whole space, like at other times of the day when the Aqua Theater is not showing the Aqua show. So
And
cool.
actually, they're actually putting in a second aqua show that's called like Pirates and Mermaids. And it's just like a little cute little show more geared toward families during the day. So they're actually still building in little tips and things that are pretty cool.
Yeah, that's super fun.
So, and then of course you have, which they have debuted on a lot of their parks, is Central Park.
Oh, yeah. Love Central Park.
Central Park just has that beautiful feeling to it where you've got all the greenery, and I swear I don't know how they do it. I don't know if they pipe in bird sounds, but you hear birds.
Yes.
Right.
Hinting on that when we were there last time. My husband's like, why are there so many birds in here?
It's like the birds. It's like the birds' little island in the middle of the ocean. They like come in and sit there. It's really, it just gives you that like Central Park relaxing feeling to it. And of course, they knocked that up a few edges. I mean, there's some really cool new things in there, such as they have a brand new jazz club. Oh, that is located in there, as well as they have a new champagne bar right in there. Of course, it has the trellis bar. It's got, and we're going to talk more about food and beverage in a minute, but Zumi, which is their sushi and hibachi restaurant, has a walk-up window in Central Park. So you guys walk right up and get something if you want it. So say you want like some mid-afternoon sushi, you can sit out there. It's just amazing. It's awesome. I will tell you, Central Park's my favorite place to go in the evening. It's just so gorgeous.
Yeah. So. Okay, cool. So is there one neighborhood left we haven't mentioned?
There's just one. There's just one neighborhood left. And that is
one little thing.
Just one little one. It's called the Sweet Life. And for those of you who are like, you know what, you're going to go, but you might be bringing multiple family members with you, you can get a suite. And these suites are just gorgeous and they accommodate so many people. So what's lovely is, I now have an 18-year-old son. If he brings a friend, they can have a room of their own. We have our room, you have sitting areas, but the Sweet Life gives you this beautiful area with a lounge. It has a new little Mediterranean restaurant up there, as well as the old Coastal Kitchen, the old Reliable, that beautiful restaurant for suite members only. But again, they have this gorgeous lounge that then overlooks things like the Aqua Dome. So
wow, nice.
Yeah, it truly is a gorgeous experience. And of course, they have their own little pool area, their own little relaxing and sun deck. It's really cool.
Sign me up.
So, but should we talk about food and beverages? Because
now that you've touched on the Izumi walk-up window and about 5 other things, yes, I'm ready.
That's usually our favorite part, anyway. Got to check out the restaurants.
Yeah, it's work we have to do. We do it for you because we love you.
We really do. And of course, there are awesome free options for eating on Royal Caribbean. So those of you who have sailed, or maybe if you haven't sailed, of course, there's a buffet. You've got Windjammer. And Windjammer actually had a great separate grill off to the side for just gluten-free people.
Nice.
So that's often a concern for a lot of our travelers. The food options were amazing. And it's kind of cool because it circles all around the back of the ship where you can look down and see the see Surfside. It's really cool. So you kind of have all these windows in there. The food was amazing. Of course, you have the main dining room. And it's usually 3 floors high. You have amazing servers. The food is excellent. So that's kind of like some of the main free options, but then there's also lots of quick service options that they have that are free. One of my favorites is the Central Park Cafe.
Yes.
Right? That opens at 6:30 in the morning. So if you want coffee and Danish, and I mean, they had omelets, they had all kinds of food there from 6:30 in the morning all the way to 10 o'clock at night. The options are beautiful and they're not offered anywhere else.
No, we had some great salad, they made it for you, but they had a little salad bar and they could make a special salad just for you. Then they have first cut sandwiches, and then they always had a soup of the day.
Yeah.
So that was
the food in there. Yeah, is top notch. And that, again, like I said, when I like to hang out in the midday, because you're eating all the time on cruise ship, And they have great snacks. In the evening, they've got desserts and kinds of fun things. So that's a great place to keep in mind. That's coming off the other ships. And of course, they have El Loco Fresh, which is the Mexican tacos and burritos up on the pool deck anytime you want.
Very popular.
Yep.
Definitely.
And then of course, your family's favorite and mine.
Every night, no matter how much we've had for dinner, guess where we are at 10:30 at night? Our evening pizza, Sorrento's.
Yes. Our family too. Like we don't eat late at night, but I'm telling you, it doesn't matter on a cruise ship. Calories don't count. And at 10:30 at night, everybody goes down. You get your pizza for the night. We get our beverages because we all have a glass of water when we go to bed. And we get our pizza and our water and we go to bed. And that's just part of our nightly routine is Sorrento's pizza.
Yes. So last night of the cruise, my son was MIA and we found him at 1 a.m. at Sorrento's with his new friends.
And they have even more pizza ovens.
Oh, nice.
They have really expanded Sorrento's. It is big. They do not have, interesting though, they don't have like, on some of the ships, they have like little antipastas and desserts and side dishes. However, because they moved it, it is now still in that Royal Promenade, but now the Pearl Cafe is there and they have all those options. But you know what they have more than anything that I thought was so cool? Grab and go.
Oh, nice.
And by that, I don't mean you walk up, you grab you order your sandwich, they give it to you, you sit down and eat. They actually had full made containers that were already in a nice little like area kept cold that you can walk up and just grab them and go back to your room. They're sealed, so you don't have to eat them right away. A number of times I got like tomato mozzarella salad. I got carrots and cucumbers with a ranch dip. My friend had gotten a small like sandwich, pre-sealed, all made fresh each day. And every day it changed out a little bit. So like, because I went back another day to get the tomato salad and they didn't have it. But what's awesome is we just walk up and grab it and go. We put them in our fridge, in our room. And then of course, because you haven't eaten enough, when you're getting ready for dinner at night, you need a snack. So it's very cool. So you got to check out the Pearl Cafe. Worth it. Just amazingly awesome. And it's of course free. It's included. But let's get to Surfside because we were talking about Surfside. They have two options for free food in Surfside. One, they have a walk-up window for hot dogs, hamburgers, French fries, which you need on the go at any time with a toddler.
Yes.
They have their own little buffet. It is so cute. And of course, unlimited ice cream.
Okay.
But you walk in and they had salads. So they had things that also parents would enjoy. So if you're hanging out in Surfside and you're like, it's dinner time and those kids are not going to get changed to go to the main dining room, perfect place to feed them. And everything had a fun kid twist to it. So the pizza was alien pizza. They had these stuffed hot dogs that had like everything amazing on them. Of course, they had plain ones. But they had like quesadillas that were flying saucers, and just was so cool to see them put so much effort and time into the children's food selections.
Yeah.
Of course, there was chicken fingers and all those things that your kid is going to want to eat, because you know what? They might not want to eat the steak or the, different options up in the main dining room. And I even saw somebody take a plate of food and bring it into the main dining room and sat down with it. Their kids ate that and everybody else ate other stuff. So
yeah.
Interesting idea.
Yeah, nice.
So now, actually, I'm remiss because there's one spot left that's free that you have to go to.
Oh.
This area is called the Aqua Market, and it's attached to the Aqua Dome.
Okay.
So you kind of go through and it leads you right into the seating area of the Aqua Dome. So you can have food while you're watching the Aqua show. Amazing. It was like mini food trucks, and they had like a crepe station.
Oh, I love that.
So yes, with like Nutella and strawberries and caramel sauce and all kinds of amazing dessert options for your crepes. Then if you go around the side, they had Ginger, JNGR it's called. And it was like a small Chinese food booth. They had the best sweet and sour shrimp ever. And that could come with noodles or rice. Then they had another one was toast. Well, there's Toast and Garden, which does hand sliced sandwiches and garden salads made fresh for you right there. There's a little Mediterranean spot that you can walk up and get all kinds of things. There's soups, and it's almost like a bowl, like you're building a bowl there.
Okay.
The absolute best was a macaroni and cheese bar. Yeah. I'm talking to you, macaroni and cheese bar. And they had a full selection of regular mac and cheese, bacon mac and cheese, buffalo mac and cheese, pizza mac and cheese. I think they even had broccoli mac and cheese one day because some of them changed in and out. Then once they put it in the bowl for you, then they put things on top of it, like more bacon and breadcrumbs and all sorts of stuff. I may tell you, I think I gained like 5 pounds on this cruise. Those were just the pay options, Allison. The food, I can't even begin to tell you the food options. What was awesome was there were so many great options because then everybody had somewhere different to go. And that was nice. They really covered all aspects. But they did have some upgraded pay options as well. Like when your family travels on the trip, do you guys ever like to do the upgraded dining options?
We do. Our favorite tip is to go for lunch.
That's a great tip.
So, we enjoy the food in the dining room a lot. And so going for lunch gets us a lower price point for a really great meal. And then we don't miss dinner in the dining room. So we do that. But we've really enjoyed Chops Grill.
Yes.
Is a kind of a staple, Giovanni's Kitchen. And then there was another one, which I'm not going to remember right now. Jamie's Italian.
Yes.
That was also amazing. That was on the Navigator of the seats, I think.
Yes, because there's usually one Italian restaurant. They're all by Jamie.
Something.
Yes.
That's why it's called Jamie's.
So Giovanni. So on this ship, they do have the Giovanni's Kitchen. And that was actually right in the Royal Promenade. So it overlooked the Pearl. It was beautiful and very open air, gave you a really nice feel to it. Of course, it was like the next step up from where you enter, but it's just gorgeous. And then, of course, you have you've got Chops Grill and you have Zumi, and Zumi is the hibachi and sushi restaurant.
My family did a sushi class in Zumi. I have 2 sushi eaters and 1 non-sushi eater. So the 2 sushi eaters went with the parent who's a sushi eater, who is not me. And they went to a sushi class there and they really had a good time.
So much fun. And you never know what's gonna slice everybody's interest, and they have it there.
Yeah, it was really good.
And of course they still have Playmakers, which is the sports bar and arcade. You've got Starbucks in the main lobby, and then they also have Coastal Kitchen again for those sweet guests. But some of the new experiences they have, so of course Zumi has the walk-up window. They have a new supper club called the Empire Club, which is like an 8-course premium luxury experience where the chefs come out, they tell you about the food. It's supposed to be really amazing. I unfortunately did not get a chance to experience that.
Well, you'll have to go back.
Another one, they added a new one called Hooked, and this is a seafood restaurant on board.
Amazing.
Super excited because I am a seafood junkie, especially when I'm on a cruise. But then they do have some quick services as well that you can pay a little bit extra, such as a place called Pier 7 that is also in Surfside, and they serve brunch all day long. Yeah. So it gives a little bit of an elevated experience. If you have listen, we have been in Surfside, everybody's hanging out, and if you eat one more chicken finger for the day, you're just going to lose it. Go over to Pier 7. It's wonderful. It's a nice upgraded menu, and you can sit down and have a beautiful meal. Like I said, there's just a small surcharge there. And then also they have a new place called Base Camp, which is in Thrill Island, which is all kinds of fun food. I think it had upgraded mozzarella sticks and all these other fun foods. And they actually even have a few free options there as well. So if you don't want a loaded cheeseburger, you can just get a basic one, and that was free. So that gave you a nice option. And then they have a new milkshake bar. It's called Deserted. And the milkshakes were unbelievably good. Oh my goodness. Every day they have a specialty one, it seemed like. And it was a cool place. And I believe you could just get ice cream served there as well. But they do have this very cool upgraded deserted bar. Yep.
That's hilarious.
You will not go hungry. And of course, there's bars too. Everywhere you can imagine to go. Yeah, so I was really impressed. There was the lime and the coconut freezer cocktail. That's where the swim up bar is right there. That's the swim and tonic.
Okay.
Swim and tonic. They have an amazing new piano bar. So of course you can go in and have a drink, but then you can also, they have dueling pianos. That was really cool. A neat jazz bar.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yep. And then that's right in Central Park again. And they have the champagne bar that you walk up to. So,
All right. Well, we are coming to entertainment. So one of my favorite things about Royal Caribbean is the entertainment and their shows. So they always have some type of amazing Broadway show, and then they always have some kind of like original theater show. And then some of them have ice skating shows, and some of them have those diving shows too, the aqua theater shows. So where are we at on Icon? What do we got?
well,
We got one of everything?
yes, plus.
Okay.
So I have grown up going to New York City and going to Broadway shows, and I love seeing shows on ships, and they're amazing. They really are wonderful. It's amazing what these ships can do. Like some of the other ships have like Mamma Mia, and yeah, I love Mamma Mia, and I've seen School of Rock, or like a bunch of other of the ships have Broadway shows. This one took the cake. They did The Wizard of Oz.
Uh-huh.
Like, how cool. The Wizard of Oz. They brought a full-on Broadway show. And by that, I have never seen so many people in a cast on a cruise ship.
Wow.
They just kept coming out. The Munchkins just kept out, and more of them. It was amazing. And I got to tell you, so when Dorothy goes through the tornado, her bed flies all around the theater.
Oh, wow.
It was just amazing. The performers were fantastic. I can't say enough good things about The Wizard of Oz. You left there going, wow. They're speechless. There are no more words. So yes, of course, there's the Broadway show, and they, of course, they always have comedians and jugglers and other entertainment in that main theater throughout. They also, of course, have the music hall, which has music and things like that. But again, like you mentioned, they have an ice skating rink where during the day families can go. You can go ice skating, roller skating, all kinds of fun things. But in the evening, they have shows there as well. This show on this ship is called Elemental Beauty, and it's actually kind of cool. Like they take STEM, STEM studying, science, technology, math, and they kind of like blow it up on an ice skating rink. It's so cool. It's just an interesting way to present a show, and they really kind of did it. It's different, it's fun, it's unique. You have to catch that if you get a chance. And then, of course, we talked about the Aqua Show already, which is a not to be missed event. But lastly, they also have this really cute parade that happens the last night of your ship, on the last night of your sailing. Everybody goes down. I highly recommend that you go to the next deck up. This takes place in the Royal Promenade. And so we found a great place along the railing, and we're able to watch it. And they go from Vikings to these amazing sea boats in like the Orient. And it's all these different types of boat and characters from the sea that parade around, and mermaids, and World War. It's just, I can't even begin. Like, it's just like in Pearl Harbor, like they've got like everybody singing in the Navy, and it's just, oh my goodness, it was so cute and fun and interactive and just heartwarming is the way I would explain it. It was such a great send off from the last night of the ship. And a lot of times they have those parades that go, but this really brought everybody in and gave you such a fun experience. So
cool. So let's touch base a little bit on the rooms. Obviously there's inside, there's ocean view, there's balcony cabins, there's cabins that sleep 2, 3, 4, 6, 8 in some of the suites. So typical of most of the ships with a variety of cabin types. But I think there was one cabin type that we talked about before we started the podcast that really blew you away. And it's really something quite outstanding and extremely unique to Royal Caribbean and the icon of the seas. And so I think we should probably talk about that.
Yes, it is called the Family Townhouse Suite. I've never seen anything like it in all my years.
No, I'm actually really excited that you got to tour it, because It's not something you can normally get to see when we're learning about ships to really see it in all its beauty. But so this suite sleeps 8 guests. It has 2 bedrooms, one with a king bed, and then one with like 4 individual beds, a set of bunks, a couch, and a Pullman. And then there's another 2 that can be in the couch in the living room. But there is not one deck of this suite. In fact, this suite doesn't even have 2 decks because it has 3 decks.
Yeah.
So you come into the stateroom and you're kind of on deck 2 or the middle deck, and the bedrooms are above. There's a game area below. So, what was your impression of this ridiculous, amazing family suite, the townhouse?
I felt like a little kid. I felt like I wanted to be a little kid. So, like, you walk in, and first of all, the colors just hit you. It is warm, it's inviting, and it's fun. And you walk in, and they have a theater, like
Like a movie theater?
like a movie theater. They have like all these recliners, and they have this huge television screen, which is very cool. Like, great way to entertain some kids at night when you're finally just trying to bring everybody down from the day. But then you go into the living room, and the windows that wrap around the back of the boat that are in these suites are just
Wow.
gorgeous. You really get to see just everything. You take all in that water view. It's unbelievable. But then you have this really cool little nook area the kids can climb in. There's a little play area. You walk out on the balcony, there's a hot tub just for your family. But the coolest thing is when you walk up the steps, it's a musical piano. So every step plays tunes and notes, and kids can run up and down. I do believe you can turn it off because, yeah, that would get a little old.
After day 2 at sea, you're clear. Fun.
Exactly. And then when you get up to the top of the steps, there's this awesome mesh area in which kids can lay on, read books on. There's pillows. I can even see a kid totally saying, "That's my bed."
I was going to say, I think people would rather sleep there than in the beds.
I totally see like a 5-year-old going, "Oh, no, no, I'm not sleeping in the bed." Right. An awesome nap time opportunity. So that's the upper part. But once you're up top, because the fastest way to get down to that level again is by slide. So there is a spiral slide that goes down from the first level of suite to the next level up. Then there's a sub level. So if you walk out, you can walk down these amazing steps. There's some, like you had said, there's some seating. There's a little gaming area. So I think they have foosball. But then you have your own private gate that opens up onto the kids' Surfside family area. So if you're like, you have like perfect multi-generation kind of thing. You've got like a 5-year-old, you've got a 7-year-old, they're playing. Again, you have a 2-year-old who still takes naps, and grandma and grandpa are going to take them up and they're going to put them in for the nap. You're right there. Or even just the ability to say, "You know what, guys, we're not going to do the main dining room tonight for dinner. Mom and dad are going to run downstairs. We're going to get stuff from the Surfside Cafe. We're going to bring it right up to the room, and we're going to sit there and enjoy this amazing view or this amazing movie." So it really gives some neat options to a family cruising.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. So I guess there's one last thing to discuss. Well, before we get into the real secret thing,
Yeah.
Don't want to miss the real secret thing at the end because it's unbelievable. But let's just highlight as like a recap a little bit quick. Like the few things that make the Icon really different. I mean, we know it's a larger ship. We know that there's different neighborhoods, but like what really kind of sets it apart?
Yeah, there are some definitely different things about the Icon, which I loved. I thought that they were neat touches, and they really did a great job about setting this ship side and saying, "Okay, we're doing things a little differently." And first, and I know this has made the news a lot, but this is actually a wonderful, sustainable ship. So they've done a really great job of trying to reduce those carbon emissions, reduce the sulfur emissions, and really have a cleaner living on the ocean. So even though this huge ship, like people may say, "Oh, well, I don't want to do that because it's, polluting the environment." They're really making their ships much more economically sustainable for oceans, which is great. But there was some really great touches that I wanted to talk about that the Icon has that a lot of other ships don't have. For those who sailed a lot, and I know your family is part of this as well, in the middle of the night, whoever gets up to go to the bathroom, wakes up everybody in the room because the door to the bathroom is always like one of those handles and you clunk down and it's loud and it's kind of like super annoying. The bathroom doors are now magneted. It's genius. It's a quiet open, it's a quiet shut. That made all the difference. And especially with a family, I'm super excited about that. Also, they redesigned the bathroom a little bit. It's got some extra storage. It actually has a seat in the shower now. I feel like they didn't make it any bigger. They redesigned it to make it more functional.
Yeah.
I think they did an awesome job there. Also, if you come out of the bathroom, they've done a great job with adding more USB plugs, more regular plugs. Those who travel know those things are
a big deal.
Yeah, you get like one per person and that's it. And it could be on the other side of the room. Like,
right.
Sorry, if they're plugging your phone at night, you're not playing on it. It's over on the other side.
Yeah.
So they did a great job of really adding those things to your room to make it easier and more functional. Also in their closet space. So normally you just open a closet, it's got the hanging area and that's it. Of course, the beds are lifted higher, so you can put luggage under there now. But when you open those doors, they actually kind of make compartments for you. And they have these wonderful drawers that are wire that pull out. Awesome for shoes. Because I don't know about you, but like literally all the shoes from our room go dumped in the bottom of the closet. And you're constantly like, somebody grab my blue sandal. And all our shoes just piled on top of each other. Now we were each able to have a bin and put our own shoes in. So it gave like a real functionality to a space that was otherwise not functional.
Yeah.
So, and something else that's pretty cool about the Icon, and at first I have to tell you, I was a little nervous about it. The elevators are different.
Oh,
they're different. It's very weird.
How do you make a different elevator?
Well, you walk up, they have a pad in front of every elevator bank.
Okay.
You don't walk over, there's no up button or down button.
Okay.
So you can't see any of that. And you're like, well, how do I get to the floor? You walk over to this giant pad and it has all the floors on it. And you touch the floor that you want to go to, and it's going to send you to elevator B. So each elevator is assigned a letter. And they're trying to speed up how people are getting places. So they're grouping you. So you can walk over and hit deck 10 and it's going to send you to elevator B. Walk over there. And as soon as you get in, deck 10 is now lit up and it's one of the stops for you. So it's like an automatic elevator selector for you. So when you get all those big groups of people that are waiting at the elevator, and now every single group has to stop on deck 10 for you, they're kind of compartmentalizing people. And I had to tell you, I thought it was really odd. It was very cool. And it was true. It ran like clockwork.
Oh yeah, because then you're on like the left side of the elevator bank, and then the door on the far right opens, and you're like, so then everybody goes running over there, and then by the time you get there, it's full, and you're like, it's okay, I'll wait for the next one. And then you hit the up button while the people are still getting in the elevator, so the doors open again, and it didn't close, and you have to wait to push the up button until the doors close. And
oh, yes.
So
it was really interesting. And I think it's definitely going to take some getting used to for newbies. It took me at least 2 days to get used to it. And I was like, can I just have an up button? But then actually, once I got used to it, I was like, this is pretty cool.
The biggest difference is I have to know what deck I'm going to, because a lot of times I don't.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You get out, I'm like, well, I know I'm going up because of where my stateroom is, but I kind of don't know where.
Yeah. So in that case, you're going to be out of luck, or just random,
Just like,
just
I
hit
guess
them all.
deck 8. Yeah, no elfing. Okay. All right, so they've got new elevators. They're much more sustainable. They've done an amazing thing, and cruise lines love the ocean. That's their business. Taking care of it is a huge thing for them. So them being sustainable is amazing. They've really reorganized those staterooms, but I think that there's somebody that lives on the Icon of the Seas. Is there like something that lives on the ship?
Yes.
Who lives on the ship? It's not me.
It's not me.
I wish it was, but it's not.
I totally wish I lived on the ship.
So who lives on the Icon of the Seas?
I have to tell you, the coolest feature of the Icon was Rover. They have a dog who lives on the Icon, and he is the chief dog officer. And his entire job is to bring joy and happiness to the crew and passengers on board. Rover was so adorable. He's right now he's a 6-month-old golden retriever, so he's actually a little older now because I was there in January. I mean, the cutest golden retriever you have ever seen. And Rover's the ship. He does have a handler. His handler's name is Allison. Also, yes. She takes him all over the ship. So you may run into Rover just walking around. He plays ball with the guests. He loves everybody coming over and petting him and giving him hugs and kisses. And you can tell he takes his job seriously. He loves it. And it's just so amazing. And I'm a huge dog person. So to me, that just warmed my heart. And I happened to run into them in the elevator all by myself. And it was just my friend who was with me, and we got to love on Rover, and he gave me kisses, and I was super excited. I love Rover.
So how about that? Not only is it a new amazing ship, it has its own dog, and you can go on vacation and visit and look for him. I mean, that can be a fun activity for the littles. Just be like, let's go on a hunt and see if we can figure out where Rover is, and wander around the ship looking for him. So
it would be great for kids with special needs as well, don't
Yeah.
you? I mean, like, what a great way to like get some of that love time, with a great animal on board.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that just helps calm you and helps you feel more at ease. So that's really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about the icon of the seas, maybe a lot of it.
Sorry, we didn't take too much time, but there was so much to cover. And I'm going to tell you, there were so many things we didn't even get to.
Yeah, this is kind of the tip of the iceberg, which is probably
Yeah.
not a good analogy for boat. But anyway, so we hope that you learned a lot. And if you are interested in an icon of the seas or a Royal Caribbean vacation, we can help figure it out. And also, just so you know, Icon is the first of the Icon class. So there are a couple more Icon ships coming in the next year or two. And so if this is the type of ship that you'd be interested in, but maybe the itinerary or the sail length of sail is not a good match for your family right now, there will be other options coming, 4 nights, 7 nights, and different things. So we would love to help you with that. Carla would love to help you with that. And we'll help you get and have an iconic vacation of your own. So reach out to us if you need anything. Thanks.